Hello students. In this video lecture, we are going to learn about capitalization. That means when to use capital letters in writing. So we have many rules to follow for this, and we start with the rules and also appropriate examples so that we can understand it better. Now, see the first rule, that is the first letter in a sentence should be capital. So, the first letter in a sentence should be capital. See here. Sarala came to my house yesterday. This is a sentence and it started with a capital letter. She looked very disturbed and it started with a capital letter. Do you know what's the reason? Of course, it's an interrogative sentence and it also started with a capital letter. Oops, this is an exclamatory expression and it started with a O. Let that be, like it might be an imperative sentence or it might be an interrogative sentence or it might be an exclamatory sentence. Whatever the kind of sentence it is, the sentence should start with a capital letter. That is the first rule. And second thing is the first word in quotations. When you are using the quoted part in a sentence, then the first word in the quotations should start with a capital letter. See here in the example, the waiter said, my manager will be here shortly, but he never came. So here, this particular part is in quotations, and when you are writing some particular part in a quotation, then it should start with a capital letter. Now see this. Ernest Hemingway said, the way to learn whether a person is trustworthy is to trust him. So this also, the quoted part, it started with a capital letter. That means the first word in the quotations should start with a capital letter. That is the second rule. And the other thing is, like after colons, usually what we do is, if after colons, if there is a complete sentence, then we start that with a capital letter. Or if we have some individual words, then there is no need of using a capital letter. This is one exceptional rule that we have to remember. Here in this sentence, here's her favorite reading material. They have kept a colon because we have list of things here: books, magazines, and travel guides. Of course, these are the list of things, but this is not a complete sentence. This part after colon is not a complete sentence. So there is no need of starting with a capital letter. Instead, we have to use only small letters. This is one exceptional rule which we have to remember. The other one, consider packing the following items. This is one more example related to this rule only. After this, after colon, we have list of items here. As I told you, this is not a complete sentence, just a list of items, that's it. So this should be kept in small letters only. There is no need of using any capital letter here. And semicolons also. Dad has always been a strict disciplinarian. However, he made an exception this time. So we have combined two clauses to make it a compound sentence. See here, however, we just kept a semicolon here, and after the semicolon, the part of the sentence which started after the semicolon, there is no need of putting that, starting it with a capital letter. Instead, we can use a small letter. This is one more rule that we have to remember. Now, titles of people. Usually, we just write titles of people sometimes, like Mr., Mrs., Doctor, like such titles we use to refer to a person. So titles can be they can start with a capital letter. So Mr., Mrs., or Doctor, or a word you use to address a person by his or her position, as though it were part of their name. Sometimes it's not just telling us Mr., Mrs., or Doctor. We sometimes refer them with the positions what they have. For example, I am writing my report on President Abraham Lincoln. President is that we are addressing Abraham Lincoln by using his position as a part of his name. So president here started with a capital letter. And of course, this is also a title. And it's not just like Mr., Mrs., Doctor, but sometimes what we do is we just add the designation or the position of the person before his name as a part of his name. So when you use such words also, we start them with a capital letter. During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln was the President of the United States. Here, President is not used as the a title, but instead, it is used like was the president, it is used to give some reference of the person. So here there is no need of starting it with a capital letter. If it is used as a position or designation before the name of a person as a part of his name, then only we have to start with the capital letter, or else there is no need of using a capital letter for just referring the position in the mid of the sentence. Like, while I was an intern, I shadowed Senior Marketing Director Sam Jones for a day. Here also, before the name of the person, as a part of the name, the designation of the person is referred. Senior Marketing Director Sam Jones. So here we have used each and every word in his designation. We have started it with a capital letter. And of course, when you are writing names also, if we have two or more parts in the name, then usually we start usually we start each and every part of the name with a capital letter. Now, say this: Sam Jones is the most productive marketing director in the department. Now here we are not referring this marketing department as a title of the person or as a position of the person, but here, like, we are just putting it in the mid of the sentence to show the reference of the person. That's it. Like, we are not using any capital letter here to start this designation. See, what I'm trying to tell you is, when the position of the person is kept before the name of the person, and as it was a part of his name, then only we have to start with a capital letter, or else there is no need of using a capital letter before the position. Capitalize people's titles if they come before the person's names or are used instead of person's real name. So instead of the name of the person, also sometimes we use only designation. Then also we can start it with a capital letter, or else there is no need of using any capital letter before that. Now, here, see this. Will my dog be okay, doctor? Doctor, here we are not referring to the name of the doctor. Instead, directly we are referring with his position only. So, I mean, like, with his title only. So, in this case, like, we use a capital letter, or we start the word with a capital letter. Will my dog be okay, doctor? Doctor here is referring to, instead of the real name of the person, we are referring the person by using the title of the person. So in such cases also we use a capital letter, or else we start that particular word in a capital letter. And before the names of days, months, and holidays. Some examples include Monday, January, Christmas, Ramadan, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. So, like, because there are particular specific names of the days, specific names of the months, specific names of the festives, and specific names of the holidays, so we are starting them with the capital letter. Now, seasons are not, before the names of the seasons, I mean, the names of the seasons should not be in capital letters. Like, we do not need to capitalize winter, spring, summer, fall. These are all started with small letters only. So only days, months, and holidays or festives, we just start with capital letters. And there is no need of capitalizing these names of seasons. So the pronoun I, wherever you get this pronoun I in your text, so there is no need of, it should always be capitalized. So wherever it is, whether it is at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence or at the end of the sentence, wherever it is, if it is used individually, then it has to be capitalized. For example, see here, I don't know about you, but I would wait for it to go on sale. So I, it is used as a pronoun. So individually, wherever you get that I in the sentence, that has to be capitalized. He said that we can go home, but I would wait to hear from the manager. I hear. Again, in the middle of the sentence, we got I. Of course, wherever you get this I, we have to capitalize that. Sandra and I are going to the movies later tonight. So these are some of the examples. And before proper nouns also means a particular name of a people, a person, place, or thing. Usually they are capitalized. So tower. Tower is a common noun, and so there is no need of starting it with a capital letter. But when we specify that, Eiffel Tower, like, E is capitalized because it's a proper name. That means it's a specific name of the tower. So when it is used as a proper noun, we are capitalizing it. When it is used as a common noun, we are not capitalizing it. Proper nouns include names of mountains, mountain ranges, hills, and volcanoes, like names of cities and countries, and names of bodies of water, including rivers, lakes, oceans, seas, streams, names of buildings, monuments, bridges and tunnels, street names, schools, colleges and universities, continent, regions, states, countries and towns, nationalities and language. So whatever that may be, if it has a specific name, so that name is referred as a proper noun and that has to be capitalized. Closing a letter. When you're closing a letter also, when we sign off on letters, we generally close with a complimentary clause like yours sincerely, yours faithfully, yours truly, yours obediently. So here, when you're just trying to give a complimentary clause in the letter, like you have to start that complimentary clause with a capital letter. See, you can use individually, like we can say simply as sincerely, or we can say yours sincerely. You can say truly or yours truly, whatever it may be. If it has to be started with a capital letter. So the first word in these farewell words or complimentary clauses should be capitalized just like the beginning of a sentence. For example, wishing you all the best. So this is also a kind of clause. Okay. And this started with a capital letter. That means when whatever that complimentary clause is, like it has to start with a capital letter or it has to be capitalized. Book and movie titles, like the title of the books and the title of the movies also should be in capitals only. Books, movies, poems and other creative works often requires capitalization. You can use title case where you capitalize. Title case in the sense, like each and every word, it starts with a capital letter in a title, the first word, and also adjectives, nouns, verbs in the last word. The first word has to be capitalized, the last word has to be capitalized. In between, if you get nouns, verbs, adjectives, they have to be capitalized. Meanwhile, you generally do not want to capitalize articles. If you get any articles in the title, so there is no need of capitalizing them. If you get conjunctions, there is no need of capitalizing them. If you get prepositions, there is no need of capitalizing them. Prepositions, particularly, if they are like three letter words or two letter words, there is no. If that is more than that, then you can capitalize them. The first letter of a work is always capitalized, even if it's an article, preposition, or a conjunction. That means, as I told you, like the first word has to be capitalized, the last word has to be capitalized. In between, adjectives, nouns, and verbs have to be capitalized, and the preposition, if it is more than three words, then it can be capitalized. So, for example, see here, Few Good Men. So, this is a title, and first letter, like first word, means like it started with an article, so it is capitalized. The first letter of the word, few, adjective, F capitalized, good, G capitalized, men, M capitalized. Fools rush in. In is a preposition, of course. It has come at the end of the title, so the last word of the title has to be capitalized. So I have capitalized in. Spider-Man, far from home. Here, from is a preposition, of course, more than three words, and so F is also capitalized. So, title case in the sense, see, we get many parts in that. The title, we get many words in the title. So, each and every word has to start with a capital letter. Exceptions are when you get an article in between the title, in the middle of the title, there is no need of capitalizing the article. If you get conjunctions in the middle of the title, there is no need of capitalizing the conjunction. If you get prepositions of fewer with one or two letters or three letter prepositions, there is no need of capitalizing them. If more than that, if you get four letter preposition or five letter preposition, then is of course you can go with capitalization. So these are the rules for capitalization. So you have to capitalize the first word of a sentence, and there is no need of following the capitalization before the colons or semicolons, and you have to capitalize the proper nouns, and you have to capitalize the proper pronoun, like I, pronoun I. If you get it wherever in the sentence, it has to be capitalized. The names of books and titles, movie titles also has to be capitalized. Okay, so you have to follow all these rules when you are writing, and you should be in a position to identify the errors which you make in relation to this capitalization. So I hope you understand the topic. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. Thank you.